Hey folks, want to come on here and shoot a quick podcast. This is going to be on Google. For those of you who don't know, I worked there in October 2020 to October 2021, about a year and 1 month. I think I've seen somewhere that the average tenure is about a year and 1 month, a year and 3 months. I only know that after looking back. I didn't know at the time. I just looked up there and it says, here's what is available data shows that the average tenure about Google/Alphabet, e.g. how long employees stay on average tenure estimates. Google individual company data from employment profile database like Zippa suggests that many Google employees have leave within a few years, and the distribution shows significant number of shorter tenures, e.g. 34% less than a year, 32% 1 to 2 years. This implies a relatively short average tenure overall at the company. Specifically, broader big tech comparisons, analysis, I'm on ChatGPT by the way, analysis looking across major US tech firms typically find that Google's average employee tenure falls right under 2 years. I think on Google or Gemini it was 1.1 to 1.3, around 1.9 years, similar to other larger tech companies. Alphabet parent company average. Some demographic statistics sites estimate the average tenure across all Alphabet employees at about 4.1 years. This is likely influenced by including all roles, older employees, as well as non-tech divisions. What this number means, 1.9 years, a common figure cited for average tenure at Google when compared to other big tech firms. This reflects trends where many employees, especially in tech roles, stay around 2 years before moving on. 4.1 years across Alphabet, indicates that when you include the entire workforce, not just specific roles, average tenure can be tighter. Why tenure can be shorter in tech? Highly competitive for talent, frequent job hopping for better opportunities/salaries, reorganizations, and project-based hiring contribute to shorter average tenures in tech companies compared to broader industry averages. Just go to Google. And the Google AI overview stated that the average tenure at Google has been reported as remarkably short, often cited around 1.1 years medium, especially in discussions from 2021 to 2022, contrasting sharply with the overall US average of over 4 years. This low figure reflects intense competition, rapid hiring, demanding environments, and high demand for tech talent, leading many companies to leave for better pay or new opportunities within a couple of years, though some engineers stay much longer. Key factors: intense competition. The tech industry offers many high-paying alternatives, making job hopping common for salary increases. High expectations, a demanding culture with high-pressure deadlines can lead to burnout. Aggressive hiring. Google's constant influx of new talent and high-volume applications influences tenure statistics. Compensation cliff. Some sources suggest a potential dip in incentives after about 4 years, encouraging departures. Not all. This is on Google, by the way. The first one's on ChatGPT. Not all roles. I haven't checked Gemini yet. Roles alike. When the average is low, many engineers and long-term employees find significant loyalty and impact, often staying for many years. Why it matters. The data highlights the fast-paced, talent-driven nature of the tech sector, where even well-perked companies face high turnover. It prompts discussion about retention strategies, workplace culture, and balancing work-life demands in a competitive landscape. And yeah, super interesting. Yeah, so it says about 1.1 years is the medium, which kind of stayed there for that time. And before I got a job in there, I bought a book. I think you can buy it online, maybe on Amazon.ie, or maybe order it in Eason's, or maybe Dubray. Either way, you can find it. It's How Google Works, fascinating and full of food for thoughts. Success, Eric Schmidt and Jonathan Rosenberg, with Alan Eagleford by Larry Page. Updated with a new chapter, the New York Times bestseller. Google, the rules for success in the internet century. How Google Works is an entertaining, page-turning primer containing lessons that Eric Schmidt and Jonathan Rosenberg have learned while helping grow Google from a young startup to a global icon, using anecdotes from Google's corporate history. How Google Works covers everything that managers need to know to be successful in the digital age: corporate culture, talent, communication, dealing with disruption, strategy, decision-making, innovation. Schmidt and Rosenberg explain how technology, the internet, Mobile and cloud computing has shifted the balance of power from companies to consumers. The companies that will thrive in this ever-changing landscape will be the ones that create superior products and attract a new breed of employees from whom the authors dub smart creatives. A blink view of what it is to work at one of the world's most successful companies. For a voyeuristic reason alone, it is worth reading Independent. And by the way, just to let you know before we get into it, I didn't get let go. I decided, there's a video on YouTube where I talk about I decided to leave for my health and well-being. I had to look after it after the global pandemic, which we'll get into another time. Nothing bad to say about the company. It was a great experience, so which we'll get into. So a bit about Google. Is a major global technology company best known for its internet search engine, but it also does much more across software, hardware, advertising, and AI. What Google is: core identity, an American tech company founded in 1998 by Larry Page, Sergey Brin, while they were graduate students at Stanford University. Name origin: the name Google comes from a play on the mathematical term Google 100. I did not know this. Reflecting on the founder's mission to organize large amounts of information. Let me just double check this. The number 10, and then there's Google. It has a 10 and then 100 at the top right hand side. And yeah, let's get back to it. Yeah, reflecting on the founder's mission to organize large amounts of information. Part of Alphabet since 2015, Google has been a subsidiary of Alphabet Inc., a larger holding company. Impact: it handles the vast majority of online search traffic globally. It is one of the most recognized brands in the world. Main products and services: internet and software. Google Search, the most widely used web search engine in the world. Gmail, free web-based email service launched in 2004 with large storage capacity. Google Maps and YouTube, leading navigation and video platforms, widely used internationally. Google Cloud, a suite of cloud computing and enterprise services. Hardware: Pixel devices, phones, tablets, and laptops under Google Pixel brand. Nest, smart home devices like speakers, displays, and thermostats. Analytics and tools: Google Analytics, web and app traffic analytics platform used by millions of websites. Google Dashboard, a central place to manage data from various Google services. Everyday usage: because Google Search is so dominant, Google has entered a common language as a verb, meaning to search the internet using Google. Recent news about Google has popped up, which we'll get into. Infrastructure: Google is building subsea cables in Papua New Guinea to expand digital connectivity under a regional defense agreement. AI and research: Google DeepMind is partnering with the UK government to open an AI-driven research lab focusing on science and energy innovation. Safety tech: Google rolled out an emergency live video on Android to let users stream video to dispatchers in crisis. Regulation: the EU is investigating Google for possibly unfairly ranking content in search results under the Digital Markets Act. Google is a verb, by the way, quick definition: to use the Google search engine to obtain online information. We'll keep this positive as possible. And then we did talk about, I suppose, something that's super interesting is I was online. Well, let's get into this first, because the main listeners will be in Ireland. Just make it Irish specific. Please bear with me if you're out there from other countries. We'll just do this very briefly. Here's what we know, and I'll probably report about the average. Into this, yes. By the way, it says 1.1 to 1.3 years again. Important nuance, general figures. So it's super interesting. 1.1 to 1.3 years. Maybe the first one I looked up was wrong. This seems to be the common one. So yeah, let's just one sec. Google in Ireland overview. Google Ireland refers to the operations and presence of Google LLC in Ireland, where the company has one of its largest and most important bases outside the United States. Headquarters and offices. Google's European headquarters, EMEA, is Europe, Middle East, and Africa HQ, is located in Dublin, Ireland, with the majority office sites such as Barrow Street and other buildings like Gordon House and Gasworks House forming a large campus. Employment and growth. Google first established an office in Ireland in 2003. Starting with a small team, it has grown into one of the largest private employers in the country, with several thousand employees working across sales, engineering, support, and other functions for Europe, the Middle East, and Africa. The Dublin site focuses on software engineering, site reliability, cloud services, advertising technologies, and global operations. Strategic role. Ireland serves as Google's EMEA, which talk about Europe, Middle East, and Africa hub, meaning many global functions, particularly ad sales, engineering, and user services for products like search and Gmail, are coordinated from here. The Irish subsidiary also has data controller responsibilities for users in the European Economic Area and Switzerland for some services, reflecting the regulatory weight of its location within the EU. Data centers and infrastructure. Google has data center facilities in the Dublin area that support cloud infrastructure and services. These data centers are part of Ireland's role as a significant connectivity hub for the major tech companies. Economic impact and investment. Google's investment in Ireland has been substantial, with over 1 billion invested since the early 2000s and continued expansion in offices and infrastructure. Its Irish operations have generated significant revenue and tax discussion, as the country plays a key role in global revenue reporting and corporate structure. Community and innovation. Google Ireland engages in community education and technology initiatives, such as a program focused on digital skills and accessibility. Government leaders often highlight Ireland's tech talent and innovation ecosystem in connection with Google's presence. Excuse me. Yes, one sec. I feel like we're talking about Dublin. I must get onto other parts of the country. I see Cork popped up a lot lately, just in my news feed, so I must get into that in the future. Let's just talk about. I saw something which is really interesting, Google as well. There was a podcast that popped up about Acquired is the name of the podcast, with over 500,000 plays, and it's called Google the AI Company, and it came out October 6th. Google faces the greatest innovator's dilemma in history. They invented the transformer, the breakthrough technology powering every modern AI system, from ChatGPT to Claude, and of course Gemini. They empowered nearly all of the top AI talent, and there's a few names that I may find that I'm not used to pronouncing. So Ilya Skiffer, Jeff Hinton, Demis Hassabis, Dario Amodi, more or less, excuse me if I got that wrong, more or less everyone who leads modern AI worked at Google circa 2014. They built the best dedicated AI infrastructure, TPUs, and deployed AI at massive scale years before anyone else. And yet, the launch of ChatGPT in November 2020 caught them completely flat-footed. How on earth did the greatest business in history wind up playing catch-up to a non-profit turned startup? Today we tell the complete story of Google's 20-year plus AI journey, from their first tiny language model in 2021 through to the creation of Google Brain, the birth of the Transformer, the talent exodus to OpenAI sparked by Elon Musk's fury over Google DeepMind acquisition, and their current all-hands-on-deck response with Gemini, and oh yeah, a little business called Waymo that went from a crazy moonshot idea to doing more rides than Lyft in San Francisco, potentially building another Google-sized business within Google. This is a story of how the world's greatest business faces its greatest test. Can they disrupt themselves without losing their 140 billion annual profit-generating machine in search? Yeah, super interesting. It has little links. I may add this below. And we mentioned there Gemini, which is and Waymo, but we'll get specifically onto Gemini. I know I'm using ChatGPT. For those of you who don't know, let me just get into this. First of all, maybe slightly over 15 minutes, which is okay. So here's a clear picture of how big Google is today. Keeping in mind, Google is part of a parent company called Alphabet Inc. Google's size and value, market capitalization. Alphabet, the corporate parent of Google, is one of the largest companies in the world with a market value of about 3.7 trillion USD in late 2025, making it among the top 5 most valuable public companies globally. Market cap reflects the total value of all company shares and is often measured overall company size. Number 2, employees worldwide. I think we'll be okay to get this under around 30 minutes. Google Alphabet employs a huge global workforce. As of September 2025, Alphabet had around 190,000 employees worldwide. This includes people working across its many divisions like Search, YouTube, Cloud, AI, Waymo, which we talked about, self-driving tech, and more. Number 3, revenue and financial scale. Annual revenue in 2024, Alphabet reported around 350 billion USD in revenue for the trailing 12 months in late September 2025. This figure grew to roughly 385 billion USD. That's enormous, putting it on par with some of the largest tech and consumer companies worldwide. Revenue is the total income a company brings in from sales before expenses. Number 4, profitability and growth. Google's business is not just big, it's highly profitable. In 2024, net income profit was around 100 billion USD. Quarterly revenue in Q3, this is public information by the way, Q3 2025 alone surpassed 100 billion USD, a first for the company. This reflects strong growth dominance in areas like search advertising, YouTube, cloud computing, and AI. Number 5, global reach and presence. Google's services are used worldwide. Its core products, Google Search, YouTube, Gmail, Android Maps, and Google Cloud, reach billions of users every day. For example, Google Search handles billions of queries daily globally. The company operates in over 70 countries with offices and data infrastructure around the world. Where it ranks among big companies, Alphabet's scale puts it alongside or above other tech giants. You have Alphabet, Google, approximately 350 to 385 billion with 190,000 employees. Apple, 416 billion, 166,000 employees. Microsoft, 282 billion, 228,000 employees. Amazon, 638 billion, 1.55 million employees. Meta, 165 billion, 78,000 employees. This shows Alphabet sits with the largest, most influential tech companies in the world. In summary, how big is Google? One of the top value companies on the planet with a 3.7 trillion market cap, nearly 200,000 employees globally, hundreds of billions in annual revenue, greater than 350 billion, massive global reach, ubiquitous services used daily by billions. I even noticed when I was over in London, you could tap, it was Google Pay on the underground, and in some of the Tesla uses the electric, Tesla uses Google Maps, so Uber uses it as well. So it's pretty nuts. The company has a tremendous amount of impact and a big reach. So yeah, I wanted to get on to the last point, which is I'm using ChatGPT at the moment, but Gemini, their AI, one of their AI products, which I'll get into now, is, let me just get this article. We've talked about this a few times. One sec. Yes, recent updates like Gemini 3 have Google's AI surpassing ChatGPT in significant industry benchmarks for reasoning. This is on the Google AI overview, speed and multimodal task images / video, leading to Salesforce dropping ChatGPT for Gemini 3 Pro in some cases through ChatGPT still dominates in overall market share and user preference. Gemini has also seen temporary boosts in the App Store rankings due to viral features like Nano Banana, while both compete fiercely in areas like real-time search and integration. Key areas where Gemini excels, we'll get into that. ChatGPT stress, ongoing race. So yeah, super interesting. What is Gemini? Gemini is Google's advanced generative artificial intelligence AI system, a family of large language models, LLMs, which if you go back to podcast 13, we talk about artificial intelligence and we introduce LLMs. And the AI assistant powered by those models, it was originally known as Bard, B-A-R-D, Bard, before being renamed and upgraded. Key facts about Gemini, developed by Google AI and Google DeepMind as a state-of-the-art AI model family that can understand and generate text, images, code, audio, and video, multimodal. It includes multiple scales of models like Nano, Pro, and Ultra, optimized for different tasks from mobile to cloud computing. Gemini powers Google's chatbot and is integrated into many products: Search, Gmail, Docs, Chrome, and more. In other words, Gemini isn't a separate company or product outside Google. It is a Google AI technology and brand. It is the core of Google's next generation AI efforts. How Gemini fits into the Google's ecosystem, or into Google's, not the Google, into Google's ecosystem. Number one, AI assistant and chatbot. Gemini is the brain behind Google's conversational AI experiences, replacing their earlier Google Assistant / Bard. In many cases, it is designed to answer questions conversely or conversationally, summarize information, write or edit text, emails, documents, code, work across languages and formats, text, images, etc. Number two, integration across products. Google is embedding Gemini deeply into its services, such as Search AI mode, when responses may be generated by Gemini models for richer results. Chrome browser features, including summarizing web pages and answering questions directly from the address bar. Google Translate, where Gemini enhances translation quality. Google Home and Nest devices gradually replacing classic assistant function with Gemini. Mobile and device integration on Android devices and Google Pixels. Gemini acts as an AI companion available inside apps for summarization, suggestions, and contextualized help. There's also a standalone Gemini app where users can chat, brainstorm ideas, generate content, and more. Why Google made Gemini? Google developed Gemini to lead in AI research and products, competing with other top AI systems like OpenAI models, expand AI beyond text into multimodal understanding, images, audio, and video, power AI features across Google's huge ecosystem from search to workspace. In short, Gemini is Google's flagship AI engine, the backbone of its many most advanced tools and features. The Gemini brand today, recent developments: Gemini 3 Flash, a faster, more efficient version of Gemini, now driving much of Google's AI experiences, including search and apps. Expanding Chrome integration, Gemini tools are rolling out into more platforms such as iOS, Chrome. Smart Home AI, Gemini is replacing Google Assistant on many devices via Gemini for Home. Streamlined AI interactions, Google is making it easier to use YouTube and Maps functions via Gemini smoothly. And then quick summary: feature Gemini, what it means: Google's advanced AI model family and assistant, formerly Bard, B-A-R-D, Bard. Multimodal, can understand text, images, audio, video, and code. Integration across Google, powers AI features in Search, Chrome, Translate, Workspace, etc. Full stop or period in the United States. Replaces older assistants, gradually taking over from Google Assistant. We'll finish off with this. A little over 15 minutes, that's okay. Into 30. 24 minutes. I think the longest someone can pay attention for, I heard it somewhere, I think it's up to 25 minutes. The professor in the University of Galway, they're in first year, used to say that. I think it's the Pareto principle. The Pareto principle, is it? No, that's 80-20. 25 minutes. It's very similar, 25 minutes. It's not similar at all. It sounds similar, 25. It's 9:30 p.m., so please excuse me. Pomodoro begins with P. Pomodoro, 25 minutes on, 5 minutes of rest. Focus, the Pomodoro technique, or 25-minute focus sessions, 5 minutes of rest. Okay, we'll go back to where we were. I suppose, what's the one thing you need to know about Google for the future? If I had to distill one thing about Google for the future, Google is evolving from search and advertising company into a foundational AI and computing platform that will shape how we work, learn, and access information. Why this matters: AI, number one, AI is central. With Gemini and other AI tools, Google is embedding intelligence everywhere: search, Gmail, Docs, Sheets, Maps, YouTube, Android, and even hardware. Future interactions with the internet will increasingly be AI driven, not just keyword searches. Number two, integration into daily life. Google's ecosystem will tie AI to productivity, entertainment, navigation, and smart home devices. The line between searching and getting things done will blur. AI will anticipate needs, automate tasks, and provide real-time insights. Global influence. Number three, the company's infrastructure, cloud AI platforms, Android and YouTube makes it a core layer of the internet, meaning its decisions and technologies will affect nearly every business and user worldwide. TLDR, too long, don't read. Think of Google not just as a search company anymore. It is becoming the AI backbone of the digital world. How you interact with information, work, and even creatively will increasingly be mediated by Google-powered AI. Super, super interesting. And we'll finish up now. I think we're just coming on 30 minutes. We already talked about AI being a 2025 megatrend. And if you go back to podcast 13, you can learn about artificial intelligence there. 44 is when we talked about that. And the Google 2025 year in search. There's a video as well, which you can check out. Yeah, I think that's all you need to know, to be honest. It goes a bit longer into things. But, yeah, I think that's it. Hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful rest of your evening.